So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be going through the entire any percent route and going through all the different strats you can use from beginner to advanced and talking about why we do certain things that we do. Alright, so I guess let's get going with a new game here. So tutorial, pretty easy stuff. Main thing to note here, pretty much every cutscene, if you press start, you can hit down and do skip cutscene. You can use the D-pad or the control stick. I use the D-pad for a lot of them because it's just slightly more precise, but not all of them. So you're gonna have 3 different cutscenes to skip through, and then they're gonna ask you to talk to them, and you're gonna want to hit R. And then you're gonna want to stand about right here, because this dude's about to spawn in. And when he spawns in, there's a little cutscene trigger, but we're already in it if you stand close enough. And then you're gonna want to skip 2 cutscenes. Alright, so now you're into like basically the beginning of the game. So the movement in this game is pretty simple. You got your jump, your double jump, right? You gotta run. If you hold X, you run around. Oh, actually, I need to do something real quick. I have cheats on because I was doing glitch hunting the other day, and I need to turn those off. Sorry about that. So yeah, with the movement, you have the double jump. You have running. But with running, you can also jump out of a run even if you're in mid-air. So there's a lot of interesting tech that we do with run jumping. You'll even see it a bit in this first level. But that's pretty much it for the movement. You can do a dive with B, but we don't use it very often because it takes a really long time to get up. You can see it there. It takes a bit of time to get up. It can be useful if you need to like grab something real quick and then go into a cutscene, because you'll stand up right out of the cutscene. You can also do ground pounds. If you hit B in the air, you'll do a ground pound. Pretty basic platforming stuff. You can also grab ledges. So with this first part, for beginning, you're just going to want to hop up these stairs. Intermediate, advanced. If you come up here and you can kind of see how Timmy like falls off this book. If you manage to jump off of that book, you can get up here without getting a grab. If you just try to double jump, a lot of times you'll get the grab like that, which wastes time. Another strategy is if Timmy is facing almost completely away from the ledge, he won't grab it, and so you can do a double jump up there without getting the grab. But even if he's like sideways, a lot of the times you'll still get the grab. So those are 2 different ways to get up the bookcase. You're going to want to then run over here. You're going to want to do run jumps across these gaps. I usually try to cut the corners. When you're starting out, you're probably not going to want to cut the corners. It doesn't really save a lot of time, but it definitely can make you need to restart. If you fall off the bookcases, it's usually a restart in my opinion. You just saw something interesting there. I bounced off the corner in midair. That's something to be aware of. If you're flying through the air with a run jump, you can bounce off stuff incredibly easily. Alright, so this next part, there's an RNG. As far as we're aware right now, it's an RNG skip. I'm going to try to get it. Oops. Alright, yeah, so I didn't get it there. Basically, if you do it just right, there's not really a good setup for it yet. The only thing that I've found to be slightly consistent is I hold up, I start running about here, I jump about there, and then as soon as I hit the ground, I dive into the cutscene, and I find that a lot of times this will work. And if it works, that star that you saw run away in the cutscene doesn't run away, and it stands right here, so it's very quick to grab. So now, if it runs away, what you're going to want to try to do is grab the star and get back here to get at least a push on the box. If you start pushing the box, it will, or if you get close to the box, it'll initiate a cutscene, and if you start pushing it right before, it'll move during the cutscene. So we're going to try to get that now. So I recommend running. Oh no, I missed it. I'm not gonna get the push. I might, if you're too far away, you get this cutscene. But you can, if you push it like that, it will go during the cutscene. All right, so you want to push it twice, and then what I do is I try to line. Let me put this full screen. I try to line up this corner right here with this white book, and then I jump up here, and then I try to jump right off the corner with a double jump. You'll grab that that ledge, get that star, skip the scene, and then you're gonna want to run all the way over here. You're gonna skip this, and then with this button, this isn't really important, but I do it. If you double jump and then you ground pound at just the right like angle, like you kind of saw how Timmy like bounces off the side of that. If you get a ground pound on the edge, he'll kind of shoot forward, and you might land like right here instead of on the button, which makes this next part a little faster. It doesn't really save time, but see, I'm off the button now. You can get slightly farther. That's one of the spots I use the dive, is you're gonna want to dive into that. We're gonna want to skip 3 cutscenes here. And then there's the target section. So there's a couple different ways to go about this. I believe Kurovi, the world record holder, does this, I believe, like what I would consider like the casual way, which is you come around, you hit this target, you run around here, and you get that target, and then you get those targets over there. What I believe to be slightly faster routing is you spawn back in. I usually run like this to move the camera, so that way it moves over to this angle. Line Timmy up with his hat and the target. Now with the slingshot sucks, and you need to hold Y for a certain amount of time for a shot to come out. If you spam it, it won't work. Like it doesn't really come out. But if I time this well, you can get them to come out pretty quickly, especially if you're running. So I usually hit that one, and then I come and get this one, and then that one, and then I run jump over here, get that one, and then get this one, and then so there's the important part after you hit the last target. There's a big hitbox for a cutscene that goes out to about here, and extends all the way around here. And about here, and those are about estimates. I usually try to just get in to the couple spaces near the door. One trick if you're having trouble with this target is line yourself up with these white squares, and then use Timmy's hair or hat to point at the target, and then shoot it, and you should get it. Fun little swag strat. The door will go right through Timmy if you get close enough to it. Alright, so you're going to skip scene here, and then this is where I split for the first split, is right after the skip scene. So now we're going to go into Fairly Disastrous. This is the after this level, we get the hub world unlocked. You're going to skip through 3 cutscenes here. I'm going a little bit slower, for example. Alright, so you're going to want to run. I usually run a little bit around to the right here in order to grab this star, because he's going to run from you. And then I run jump over here like this, and then you're gonna just run straight at this one. And sometimes it'll run a little bit, but you can usually catch it just by running straight. And then what I usually do here is I usually leave my camera turned around because I know the level. But if you need to turn it around, you can turn it around. And then I go like this and just run jump kind of through here. Really any path that's like relatively straight towards that box over there is pretty good. So there's one little trick that like saves little bits of time here and there that I use occasionally. If you run jump at a slanted surface and you hit it at just the right time, you will get like a boosted jump off of it. I'm gonna see if I can do it here. Nope. Try that one more time. Yeah, you see I landed pretty far away from where that was, and that basically gave me a little bit of extra height and a little bit of extra distance. We don't use that a terrible amount, but it is kind of useful for getting around the map. Alright, so for this one, you're going to want to push this once. And so the key, what I do with this is I'm going to hold down the B button, and then I'm just going to hit up and then let go of both, and Timmy's going to complete the push. In that time, while he's pushing it, I usually line up the camera. And what I'm trying to do here is roughly line up this corner right here with like roughly this area. And then you're going to jump up here, and then you can get a double jump onto that platform over there. The grab is pretty easy to get, but you can also just land right up there if you do it just right, like that. But even if you're like a bit off, like if I'm going from the center, I can still get the grab. Like the grab is pretty free. All right, so now we have our first wish. When you get 3 wish stars in this game, you get a power-up, basically, or an item to use during just that level. This one is a gun, basically, but it's not a gun because this is a kid's game. It shoots cards. You'll see how we use this in a little bit. All right, so you're going to want to run jump off of this roof. If you try to do it too quickly after that cutscene, you'll hear the sound effect of, like, the bongos, but he won't actually get the run, so you want to wait, like, a split second after that cutscene ends to do it. We're going to run over here. And then you need this card gun. You shoot it at this card. Skip the cutscene. Come over here. So now, first real skip of the game. You're going to jump up on this purple thing. And if you hold up against this barrier, and then you just hold left and double jump, you'll land right up here. You can also get it with a grab if you want. So now, if you face this way, we're going to use a run jump to get across this gap. And it's not too hard. Once you do it a few times, you should get the hang of it. We're basically just going to run and jump. And you saw I delayed the jump a little bit until I was like basically in midair there. So now we're going to run around here. So there is a cutscene trigger right here. It's one of the ones that you can normally just like skip. But you can go around it if you want to. If you have perfect movement, it saves like half a second. If your movement is messed up at all, you lose time. So I don't really recommend it for the beginning, but I recommend it for advanced strats. But if you run around here, you can jump right around here. So what I do a lot of the times is I'll do a run right into the wall like that, and then I'll just face that way and run jump, and then you land on the other side of it. And then so that's basically what I do. I'll just show going through anyway. If you were just to walk up, you get a cutscene, you can skip it. That's all it is. So now we're going to run over here. We're going to dive into this cutscene, because usually you're going to be low on stamina right there. Something I didn't really mention, stamina is going to be really important. This stamina meter down here at the bottom is vital. If you run out of stamina and you don't do a run jump, Timmy just stops. Like here, I'll try to show you. Stops running. But you can jump up until the very last second of that, and then he will carry that momentum through the jump. All right, so next skip. This is I call this gate skip. I don't know if we really have a name for the other one. Gap skip or something. I don't know. But this is the gate skip because we're skipping. Basically, you have to run around and get a bunch of stuff to unlock this gate right here in order to go over there. But we're just gonna go out of bounds. So you can jump on pretty much all slanted surfaces in this game unless there's like a wall. So for example, this one, like if you hold up, you can totally just jump. And so what I do here is I jump towards this little side right here, like near the corner. Double jump, and then immediately double jump again and grab onto this tent. You can also go like this if you're just learning it. You can kind of like jump up here and like do like this and like try to like do it that way. But I honestly find it easiest just to go like this and do it that way. There is one other way to do this. I don't know if I've ever shown this off. It's very difficult. I believe it would save a second, maybe half a second, but it's very difficult. Basically, if you come up here, you aim Timmy's hat like roughly like right here, and then you do a run jump. Yeah, I did not quite get it. I'm not gonna go for it in order to get it. You get the point. It's very difficult. I don't go for it in runs. It would very possibly could be used in ILs or individual level runs. All right, so once you get up here, you're gonna have 2 different strats. I need to check something real quick. I apologize. I need to check my save state buttons. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to save a state here. Alright, so there's two strats that you can do. The easy strat, what I call nose strats, because another runner by the name of XNose showed this to me when I was having trouble with the harder strat, is you can just double jump right over this wall and land right here. It is that easy. It is very simple, and then you can just walk over here, right? So I'm going to load my state real quick. So the way that I do this, and the way that a lot of runners do this to do this quickly, is if you run jump off of this, you can gap over that ledge. So like this, you can go like that, and you can land over here. There's a pretty wide range of how you can angle that, and depending on how you want to do it. So this is the hardest part of gate skip, which doesn't look hard, but it's actually the hardest part. So what I do is I line Timmy's hat up with this bar right here. As you can see, I'm pretty lined up with it right now. And then when I'm gonna double jump, but I'm not just gonna hold. I'm gonna hold up, but I'm not just gonna. If you hold up, it will work most of the time. But I find that it helps to go from up to up left. So like up left, up left. So like right as he was about to grab it, I do up left. And then you're going to want to run over here. Now this is where the bridge would be. There's all the collision is here, just not the texture. Basically when you unlock the area, it just loads the texture, but all the collision is still here, which is really nice. So we're just going to run jump over here. Alright, so this might take a few tries to show off. So this is the hardest skip in the run, if you ask me. This is a cutscene skip that saves about a minute and 20 seconds. If you don't get it, it is what it is. For myself, with my PB attempts, I have to get this skip. So basically, we know about how you can skip cutscenes, but with some cutscenes, you can skip like portions of them, but then you'll just like when you skip it, you're still in the cutscene and it plays out a part that you can't skip, and that's how this one normally is. But if you manage to pause and skip the cutscene within 2 frames of entering it, you will just pop out and be able to move around during the cutscene. So this can be pretty difficult to do. I'll explain my lineup. A lot of people just run forward and try to get it, but I think that's very unreliable. I use this line right here on the floor. It's kind of hard to see in the emulator, but should be good enough. But there's a curvy line here, and at its lowest dip point, this is about where the cutscene trigger is. It's like right on the other side of this line. So what I do is I line Timmy up as close as I can get to that line. So I'm like just about over the line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my hand like this, and I'm going to roll my thumb from B to start. And basically what that's going to do is Timmy's going to dive into the cutscene, and I'm going to hit start, hopefully 1 or 2 frames after entering the cutscene. All right, so I got it early. You might be able to save this. So if you hit start, it takes 9 frames before you can do anything again to unpause. But if you hit B to unpause, it's like 2 or 3 frames. So if you're a few frames away, you can hit B and then hit start again. I was a bit late there, and so that didn't work. And so if it doesn't work, you skip the scene, you skip the other scene, and then you're in a cutscene. So let's try to do that one more time. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I got it. So you notice that it pretty much faded directly to this prompt instead of you didn't see like me standing there anymore. So if I hit skip now, I pop out of the cutscene. And so now you'll notice their dialogue is going to be the same dialogue that would play during the cutscene, but it's just playing now. Also, the jester, whatever his name is invisible now. It doesn't really matter. The shot's home to an incredible amount, so you don't really have to worry about it. But it's that is something to note. So you're going to want to walk back. You'll notice how I walked backwards. If you don't walk back, he doesn't spawn in. You'll know because his health bar here will spawn in if you walk back far enough. Alright, so now we're going to want to run over here. You're going to want to hit this button twice. Oh, whoa. That's never happened before. I don't know what just happened. We're going to try to do that one more time. Alright, I think I got it. Alright, so we're going to run over here, hit this button twice. When you hit this button, it will change the suit that's coming out of this fountain. And so we need hearts for the first one. You're just going to want to mash Y here. You'll notice the shot's home quite a bit. And then you're going to want to come over here, hit the button one time, run back over here. Something that I find that helps is these elves are really annoying. And they will hit you. So I tend to jump up here so they can't hit you while I'm shooting. And then also, when I run to the button, I tend to go kind of like this. And that's because the elves will follow me in that pattern. So then on the way back, I can go like this and be pretty sure they're not going to be able to hit me. So that's just something to note, is that routing through running around here is kind of important. You'll notice the shots curving a ton. Also, the amount of damage you need to do for each bar of health is not equal. Some of them are very fast. You'll notice that one was pretty immediate, but the first one takes a while. I'm going extra slow here to just kind of like show you guys what I do. I'll do this last hit like I would usually do it, and I usually do it blind, because this is the way the camera just ends up. All right, so now you're gonna want to hit pause again and skip the cutscene. Oh, another thing to note, you're probably going to want to run without a memory card in. Because if you accidentally hit yes here, it will load up all your memory card data and then you have to back out. But if there's no memory card in the slot, it'll just say no memory card found and you can hit B and be done with it. But you're going to want to try to hit no in order to not save, in order to save the time. Oh, another thing that Cyrus in Twitch chat said that I should mention is that this game does run at 30 FPS, which is important, which means that these one frame skips, they're not impossible. It's not like you're playing a 60 FPS game. Alright, so with this, you just need to basically run up and grab that page. It doesn't work on emulator, but on console, if you hold forward while this cutscene starts, and you like pop back into here, you'll move forward and then you immediately start running. The game will lag because you're doing too much while it's trying to load, and it will like jerk Timmy forward in an effort to like make up for it. So that saves like probably a half a second. If you run jump, it doesn't really run away. You're gonna want to come back over here, skip through these cutscenes. There's 3 of them. I'll take a sip of water real quick. Alright. So now you kind of actually have a choice. There are 2... Excuse you, neighbor. Sorry if you guys heard that car horn. So there are 2 different options for levels we can do now. You can do Take It on the Chin or Dad's Dream. Take It on the Chin has a lot of heavy movement. Not a ton of skips. There's really like 1 or 2 big skips. And then Dad's Dream has like some of the hardest skips in the game. I like to do Take It on the Chin first, just mainly out of habit because that's what other runners were doing when I started. But honestly, it's probably better to do Dad's Dream first because the tricks are very difficult and it's very easy to lose a run to them. It's very easy to lose a run to not getting a trick in Dad's Dream, but not as much so in Take It on the Chin. That being said, my tradition, I'm making the video, so it's my choice. So I'm going to take it on the chin first. So off the bat, you're going to want to skip this cutscene. Every level loads in with these beautiful title cards. I'm going to make a save state here, just in case I need it. Alright, and then you're going to spawn in. You're going to skip through 2 cutscenes. And then, so there's 2 different wish star power-ups that we can get right now. We used to always go over here and get this one first, but I am like 90% sure it's actually faster to come over here and get this one first. So you're gonna run over here. You can just jump on top of these cars if you want. I like to do this. And then when you jump on the car, when you land, it goes down and you can get like a single jump on here instead of needing to do a double jump. So that's kind of nice. So now you're going to jump up here. See that star over there. So you're going to want to try to run and like hug this wall, or this, not this wall, this like pipe thing, and like kind of hug it and then grab the star. So I missed. If it gets away from you, you have two options. You can either just do this and come grab it, or you can get it on the way back. You'll see what I mean in a second. So you can run around and jump on the cars there, or you can do this jump. It's a pretty easy jump. And then I usually will do a run over here and then double jump. If you stop running and double jump within a certain amount of frames, I'm not exactly sure how many, it's pretty generous, you will carry a lot of that momentum and you won't get a grab like that. You can get the jump without the grab, like on flat, but it's definitely easier with a little bit of momentum. So you're going to want to come up here. This star can be really tricky. There's a few ways to go about it. I'm going to try to show them off. So the first one is by jumping basically from here to here. You want to be to the right of this corner, so so this star will run this way. This is the way I used to always do it. Was like that. So the other way to do it, the way that I usually do it now, just because it's slightly more consistent, is I just go like this. I just run and grab it. If you try to go around this way, it's a little bit more tedious. Those are the two methods that I would recommend as being the easiest. You can pick whichever one you like. You're gonna jump up here. You're gonna skip another cutscene. There's a lot of cutscene skipping in this game. We're gonna grab this box. It's basically two poles. When I basically stop pressing B as soon as I notice the box going past that barrel. And then you're gonna double jump up here. So you can do a couple different methods to get over to that platform. You can single jump over here, but it's easy to miss them if you're not pretty precise. You can also double jump, obviously. That's like the easy way to do it. Here, I'm going to reset my camera real quick. And then you can also, if you move your camera like this, point Timmy's hat at the platform, you can get a run. Ooh, close. You can get a run jump over there. It's pretty tight. As you saw, I just missed it. I don't do this in runs very often. I'll do it sometimes if I'm like running behind, or I'll do it in aisles. But you can get that run jump there. All right, you're gonna want to skip the scene. So now we have two wishes, or we have our first wish in this level. So you're gonna want to immediately hit L. That brings up the wish menu, and click no wish. You can also if you can also do a soft. Sorry about the interference there. You can also do a soft tap of the L button. By doing a soft tap, you'll cycle through your items. So if you know item, it just goes to this. That's slightly faster, but I find that to be slightly more consistent. So now you're gonna, I'll show you what I do here. Show you a couple different methods. Do a save state. So what I do is I run, and I go like this, and I jump over here, right? So that's like the quickest way to do that without moving the camera, right? Let's go back. So you can also do, you can also just like turn the camera around and go like this, and like jump down onto this car and then come over. Whatever's easy. But the thing to note about this platform up here is this ridge right here will kind of hold you back when you're walking or running. So it will like funnel you towards the corner, which is exactly what you want, because it'll shoot you right out there. So like, for example, if I run at this ledge, you notice it kind of like funneled me into the corner there. And that is especially so when you're running off of this platform. I usually just kind of hold down right and then jump over here. Either side works. I think this side's a little faster. You're going to want to make your way back over this way. You can jump across the cars or do some run jumps or whatever. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to run right down by these cars. And we're going to do a jump and land on this ledge without grabbing it. If you manage to do that, this star will run along the bus and jump up here, and it usually runs all the way over here. If you get that jump without grabbing, you'll be able to grab the star midair right here and save like a second or two. I am hopefully going to get it. Yeah, like that. Otherwise, you would just need to run over here, grab the star, run back. That jump is harder than it looks, but once you get it a few times, it's not too bad. You're gonna notice that I'm switching items occasionally. That is not on purpose. I'm doing this on emulator right now, so I can use save states to do the tutorial easily. Usually I recommend running on console. I run on a Wii because it has better video output with component video, but GameCube is fine too. Whatever you want to use is totally fine. But I prefer console, but emulator is fine too. So the next star is right here. You're gonna want to run at him. Just straight. If you just run straight at it, you'll grab it. Otherwise, it'll like run over here. So usually this is like a big block pushing, or usually this is like a block pushing puzzle, right? Where you push that block. You can actually run jump this gap. We used to do this all the time in the run, but I hated that jump, and so I wanted to find a way to get rid of that jump. And so I decided to get the pogo stick first. And so if you get the pogo stick first, it saves a lot of time, because instead of one, you don't have to mess with that jump. Two, usually you do the jump and then you come, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy because he's gonna annoy me. Usually you have to come over here and climb this stupid ladder, which takes a really long time because Timmy climbs really slowly. But if you jump down here with the pogo stick, you can jump on top of this pillar thing and then get up here. So this is gonna be the first or one of the first examples of a glitch. This is called a wish cancel. It's really mainly useful with the pogo stick. Basically, if you jump and then you hold down L and hit B. Ooh, not getting it. I find what I usually do is I like mash B, is I hold L and mash B, and then he will jump out of the pogo stick. But the nice thing about that is the pogo stick doesn't move forward very fast; it just really moves up. But if I like, let me see if I can show it off. You'll notice I kind of like jerked forward and downward, and that helps give you a little bit more horizontal momentum. So I do that trick here. I get towards the edge of this pillar thing, and then I jump, hold up, and then I do the cancel. I'm gonna run over here and get this star. If you start a run like a frame or two after that cutscene, he'll get the run, but it won't take off any from your stamina, and he'll like slide across the floor. And then you can launch down there without using stamina, which is kind of nice, and it's also pretty swaggy, but it doesn't really matter. You're gonna want to jump down here. You're gonna want to run around. So if you do a double jump onto this car, you can then do a single jump onto the next one because the momentum carries. But it's definitely safer to double jump. But you can go like that. So then I run over here. All right, you're gonna want to jump on this wall. If you jump on this wall, that dude can't hit you. And I believe this is like the optimal place to stand. So you're gonna want to point Timmy right at this box. So the way this level normally works is you like go over here, like you go get the hang glider first, and then you come over here and you get the pogo stick, and then you do this long platforming section all the way around the rooftops, and then you turn off some water, then you get in, and then you can come back down here and get an elevator. Well, the elevator hitbox extends outside where the elevator actually is, so we can get over there and just skip all that crap. So this is going to be the second glitch that we're going to learn here, and this is basically a different kind of wish cancel. This allows us to use the wish on the same frame that we cancel it, and so it's only really useful with 2 wishes in the whole game, only one of which is used in any percent, and it is the hang glider. It basically gives us an infinite hover. So we know that L brings up this menu, right? And we know that Y is, oh, I'm gonna fall. That Y like uses the item, right? I should make a save state. So if we hit L and Y at exactly the same time, then you go to no wish, the hang glider will go away, but you'll be able to hover infinitely, like as far as you want. You can hover all around this level if you want. There's like a lot of goofy out of bounds shit. Not really. There's like buildings you can fly through because there's no collision and stuff like that. But basically we're just gonna glide straight at this corner over here, and Timmy's gonna drop. And basically we're gonna respawn in the elevator where the elevator would go. So then what I do is I dive here into the cutscene, and then you're gonna skip it. There's a couple different strategies to get around this room. I'm going to show off the 2 most common ones that I'm aware of. So if you come out here, the basic way to do it, like the easiest way to do it, is to just infinite hover across the room. You can also just like do a normal hover, and then that little juice box thing, it's supposed to be like fuel, but it looks more like juice to me. But that will refill your basically your little meter up in the corner here. So the faster way to do this is to point Timmy right at this little corner here that extends out and do a run jump. And if you time it, you can actually get up here without the grab, but grabbing is pretty easy. And now you're in this corner. And then what I do is I grab the pogo stick, and I'm going to go out to the right, and then I'm going to hold left, and I'm going to jump up here. There is a you can basically do a hybrid of this trick because that first jump is pretty difficult. It's very difficult to get fast because getting a good camera angle out of the elevator is really annoying. Show that off a little bit. I'll just die. So in order to get a good angle out of the elevator, you dive, and that puts you like about here. If you just like walk straight out, you'll get a straight camera. But you might get it at like an angle or whatever. So what I usually do in any percent is I just hover across. In ILs, I do the run jump, and then use your pogo stick to jump up here. And then this platform is moving back and forth here. If the platform is like right on this side, you don't jump. If it is over here, you should jump. I'm gonna try to show both. So I'm gonna start it when it's on the left, and then I'm gonna jump. And I landed on it because it was towards the right, because I knew it was going to like move over and be on the right. Now I'm going to do the opposite, where I'm going to start where it's on the right, and I'm just going to run, and I'm going to land on the platform and jump over here. And that's obviously a little bit faster, but like don't wait for the platform, just go, because that's going to be faster. You're going to walk in here, get a cutscene. All right, so this is the first wish that we skip. Or not the first wish we skip. We skip 2 wishes in the other level, but this is the first wish we skip, and the only one we can skip in this level. These green stars give us a freeze ray. Not really good use for it. The infinite hover makes it useless. We used to have to give it for safety strats, because we had to do a really hard trick otherwise, but infinite hover changed all that. So now we're gonna want to get a run jump onto this elevator thing here. It wants you to use this freeze ray to freeze him into a cube and then jump over there, but you can get a well-timed run jump. If you bounce off of him, you won't get it. If you're not holding you need to hold up in the notch in order to get the grab. If you're not holding up like all the way up in the notch, it probably won't work. So we're gonna try to go for like this corner right here. I'm sure you can do it on this side too, but I always do it on this side. So I usually line up. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Ooh, a bit of lag. I usually line up with this corner here. You want to be careful to not hit the barrel. You can go straight through it if you hit it head on like this. But you'll bonk right into it, and so it gets in the way. So you're gonna want to aim at the elevator, hold straight, run jump, get the grab, and then double jump up, because Timmy basically grabs this part of the ledge, not the elevator. So once he gets up, hit A, because you're gonna need to jump up from this part onto here, or you're gonna slide off into the water. So now here. I tend to, there's a big room that's like over here, and we're going to skip it by hovering straight across the gap of the room. You can start your hover in the elevator, or you can start it up here. I tend to start mine in the elevator. I believe it's a little bit faster. I messed mine up, so I'm just going to do it up here. But you're going to hover across the room, and that skips a super annoying room that we used to have to do. That is super nice. So here, if you're running straight, if you just hold hard right and then run jump this gap, you will gap over it all the way. So now that I hit that button, you notice that I paused there and I didn't have the skip cutscene. If you pause too quickly, like when going into a cutscene or like when activating a button, like it takes a second to activate. So you have to like wait. So I'm gonna skip the scene here. Something to note. When this water is going down, until the water is gone, the hurt box is there. So even if the water is like almost all the way at the bottom, if you jump into this pit, you will die. So you're going to want to hit skip cutscene, wait just a second. You don't want the thing there. That was an emulator problem. Jump down here, run over here, jump on this barrel. I usually do this with this camera angle, but it's easier if you pull the camera out so you can see what you're doing. But basically, you're just going to jump off the edge of the barrel there, and you're going to jump right up here. They wanted us to, like, fill this room with water and a bunch of other crap, but you totally don't need to do that. You can jump up to this platform like that with one jump, but it's pretty hard to get. I'm kind of surprised I got that when I was trying it. But especially when you're, like, going in a run. But what opens the window a little bit is if you, oh, that didn't work at all. If you do the cancel, like that gave me a little bit of extra buffer room. Otherwise, you're going to want to ground pound, because that's going to be a little bit faster because you don't have to travel all the way up. We're going to want to run around here. You're going to want to pull out the glider, and then run into this cutscene. I run in right at that corner there. We're going to do an infinite hover across this room, but we want to make sure these 3 dudes do not hit us with their ice ray. So we're going to come over here. We're going to aim this way. Y and L at the same time. Messed it up. I'm going to try that one more time. And then we're going to kind of angle this like this. I hope he doesn't hit me. All right. So we're going to hit it here. We're going to use this jump over here. The camera's really jank when you switch between that pillar and this one, so you're going to want to be careful. If you're going for speed strats, if you come over here, you'll notice these are going up and down, and that elevator is going up and down. If you time this just right while the elevator is on its way down, and these are on their way up, you can get a glide over to the elevator from these pillars, and that can help you get a quick cycle. I'm gonna try to show it off. Should be on this next up. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do the. I forgot you have to do the glitch to get there. If you do it, you can do it from the other pillar as well, and you don't need to use the hover glitch to get there. The easier way to do it is the casual strat, which is honestly what I usually do in runs, which is come over here, jump over here, and hover over there. You can also hover directly from this platform. Like if you're about to miss the cycle, like if you're running down here and you see the elevator coming, you can just do one of these, but it's really close. You need to get it when it's at the bottom. Okay, so I usually face my camera like this. There's a place over here we need to hover to. I use the holes or the little circles on here as an indicator. So all right, you'll see this one is slightly smaller than the other ones. Once the elevator reaches like right below that circle, if you hover, you will have enough energy to make it here. So that's how I gauge when it's just high enough to get over here in order to like not wait on the elevator too long. I don't recommend running through this this portion right here because it's really easy to bonk on this corner, so I usually try to run like that. Crimson Chin, we gotta rescue him. Skip through 2 cutscenes. He's rescued. He's all good. No worries. This door can be stupid. Weird worm thing. Run around it. Come into this cutscene. And then run jump over here. I'm gonna take out your glider. So you can actually do this. I'm gonna try to show this off. You can do this without doing infinite hover, and this is how we used to do this room. I just barely missed it there. Oh, I'm a little off with my lineup. But this actually does save time from doing it with the infinite hover, because you don't have to pause, or you don't have to bring up the wish menu. So you're just gonna run jump across that gap after you get over here. You're gonna want to move your camera because the camera will get stuck behind this wall incredibly easily. So you're gonna want to move the camera around here. Camera's gonna revert. This messes you up because if you're holding up when you go through the door, he goes back and forth through the door. So when the camera switches, you're gonna need to run and hold down. You can get a little swag jump into the cutscene there. Fun fact: if we could skip this room, then we would not need to get the pogo stick at all. But I think it'd still be faster to get it anyway. So I usually pull out my glider before this room. You can do run jumps across these. It is way safer to just double jump. Most of the time, if I'm on PB case, I just double jump across them because if you fall, it wastes a shit ton of time. Basically, there's a ladder over there. Anytime you need to use a ladder in this level, use the pogo stick. Don't climb it. Use the pogo stick and jump onto the ladder. It's way faster. So the reason we took the glider out is so we can use it in this spot. You're gonna wait for this guy to be, he's gonna be on the right side usually for me, if my timing is good. You're gonna wanna fly over here. All right, so this trick is kind of important. So this is what I've coined as early Olga. I'm not sure what people called it before. That's what I've always referred to it as. Basically, H2 Olga has a similar cutscene thing as with the Jester, where if you do a certain thing, you'll pop out during part of the cutscene and be able to run around. With this one, there's like 2 different pieces of the cutscene, and it only lets us move through the first and shortest part. But basically, what you have to do is you have to glide into this door frame. I usually aim Timmy. I hope that. So I usually aim up this red thing, like this red part of the glider, right? So that it's like right inside of the door frame, like this. You can do this on either side of the door, by the way. I used to do it on the other side, but the side's a little quicker for my lineup. So I'm going to do a save state here. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to glide straight into this door frame. And then once you hit the door frame, hold hard left. So forward, hard left. Okay, so Wanda is talking now, which means that I can move. So now I can do this and jump over here. Oh man, oh man, all right, I messed that up. 1 second. So if you die, like I just did during the early Olga part, and you die and then the cutscene spawns in, you have to reset. Because it won't let you finish the boss fight for some reason. I don't know why, but basically after you hit the 3rd button, basically you're running on this level to hit a bunch of buttons. And after you hit the 3rd button, the game just soft locks and you can't leave the room. And you have to quit back out to hub, and then you have to redo the level. So it's a reset if you do what I just did. So note. So I'm going to show what it looks like if you mess it up. So like, I'm just gonna like hold the wrong angle. Oh wow, it still worked. The angle might be a little more generous than I realized. But like if I just walk in here, it does this. And basically this whole like spinning sequence is what we're moving during. Usually what it's gonna look like is like this. You're gonna run over here. You're gonna run over here and try to get onto usually a good sign of a good early Olga is if you get on the ramp. If you can get on the ramp, that's pretty good time. Even if you just get across that gap and over onto the next platform, that's pretty good and saves a bit of time. So there's nothing that we can do about this cutscene. I'm gonna take my sweater off. Okay. So basically we're gonna spawn back in. So there's an interesting thing you can do on some slopes in this game. If you run jump onto this slope, Timmy will get like a sliding animation, like he's like almost like he's falling is like the animation that looks like, or like sliding. You'll see there. You cannot control Timmy when he's in this state. So the trajectory that he is at will stay the same. You can't go left or right or forward or back. You don't have any control. You basically just have to wait for him to pop out of that state. But the nice thing is you carry your momentum and you gain back stamina during this state. So I usually use it on these jumps here. Oh, I missed it that time. You have to be like on the jump to do it. All right, so these obstacles were originally meant to be used with like the ice ray thing that we skip. So you can just double jump, or you can just walk or double jump or whatever around the side of this. The easiest way to do it is with a double jump. So I'm gonna show off both ways real quick. So the double jump, you just kind of come over here. Look at Timmy's shadow. Look at where the shadow is. And that will help you indicate if you're like over it or not, right? And then the faster way to do it is to like line Timmy up kind of at an angle like this. God, this guy is gonna mess me up. And then you're gonna want to run and then hold left and then jump over. Kind of jump over that water there as well. All right, so here comes the fun stuff. This is where a lot of my, if I reset in this stage, this is usually where I reset. So you're going to want to take the pogo stick. And basically, we're going to try to jump on top of this tankard thing over here to the left in order to skip this button. If you hit all 3 buttons, she dies. But it's faster if you do them backwards. And that's only because we can basically, instead of running around this room like 3 times as we spiral up to the top, we're just going to scale it all the way to the top, hit the button, and then fall all the way back down. And after if we were to hit this button, this tankard looking thing would like fall away and like be gone, so we couldn't use it. So basically, you're going to want to jump when Timmy is like about right here on this thing, and you're going to want to like move off of it. The easiest setup I've found, put the camera behind Timmy, and like hold forward, and then you're gonna want to hold upright part of the way through the jump. So it's like jump upright, and then you'll see that I kind of got up there and like rested on something. I could have jumped off of that, so like I missed the input that time, but I think I could have got it that time as well. But like that, right? And so if you get the jump, basically you're on top of the collision for this like button housing thing. Extends pretty far out, but I'm gonna show the other way of doing that. So you can also do it without putting the camera behind you, which saves a little bit of time. Saves like a second or 2 every time. And we have to do this twice. Nope, we only have to do this once. Twice, I think, if you mess it up. So if you hold left and then hold up, and when I hit this this one right here, I rotate the joystick from left clockwise all the way around, so Timmy does like a full loop and jumps up here. So it's invisible, so it's a little iffy, but like it's pretty big and there's more than enough room. So now you're gonna want to pogo jump up here, and then you're gonna want to get off of the pogo. So I guess I'll go up there and show you. Actually, I'm going to make a save state right here, because there's like 2 different strats I want to show off. So first one, you're gonna jump up here. You're gonna stay on the pogo stick. You're gonna jump onto this pipe. This is the original strat that we used to clear this level. I believe this is the slowest strat, but it's also one of the easiest, so that's why I'm showing it off. All right, you want to stand with Timmy's head like basically right under her boob, and then jump and hold left, and then jump again in order to get up here. So there are some objects in this game that are programmed to where when Timmy jumps on them or stands on them, they like push him very fast. And so this pipe, you cannot just walk on this pipe. If you jump on this pipe, it will do that. So the key here is if you jump on this, so you see the pipe is like split down the middle. If you jump on this side of the pipe, you can just land over here. So I'm gonna try that now. So jump on the pipe. Oh, I messed it up. Well, that's why we have save states. That's why we're doing this on emulator, folks. Because I am not a TAS. I'm not a human TAS, unfortunately. Alright, so then we jump on here. You can then double jump. Oh no, I forgot to mention. There are so if you hit this button, like when I said like this tankard falls away and stuff, there's a lot of other things that fall away. For example, pieces of the floor. So there's big invisible holes that you're just gonna have to like kind of memorize where they are. Like for example, there's one right here. They're all over the place. So for this strat, that's less of an issue for the most part. So we're gonna want to get up here. You can land right here. There's a hole right here. So there are multiple holes on this platform, like here and here. So you're gonna want to walk up this side of it where there aren't any holes, or double jump. If the shadow of Timmy goes away, like you saw like over right there, it means there's a hole there. Timmy's shadow will only happen on like good collision. So then if you come up here, same kind of deal. You can run around this dude, right? Or you can just do this. You can come around down here and jump up that way, and it's slightly easier. Alright, so that's the first trick. I'm going to show the second one. It's a little bit harder, but I believe it's definitely a little bit faster. So we're going to jump up here. We're going to do the cancel. And then this dude is going to see us, and he's going to try to shoot us. So we need to move and be careful to not get hit by him. So I'm going to do a run jump, because as I showed you, there's a hole there. There's also multiple holes along this track and over here. But if you stay along this right side, you won't fall in. And then you're going to want to jump over this part because as you see, there's a hole there. You can see the shadow disappears. So now you're going to want to get back on the pogo stick. And we're going to jump off this thing right here. It's like this pipe or whatever. You want to hold right. I mash A through this. Not super fast, but just click it over and over again. And then there's a pretty big hitbox for that. It's pretty easy to fall off of, though, as you just saw me do. It's definitely like a rounded collision. So you kind of like slide off of it. But you're going to want to jump and then hold right and jump up here. And now we're on top of this tank, right? I'm going to make a new save state. So there's two things you can do from here. The faster and harder strat is to jump right from here up onto the edge of the pool and jump around like that. Oops, I just saved my state again. That's not what I meant to do. Hopefully I don't mess this up. All right, cool. Yeah, I landed in the right spot. The easier method is to just get off the pogo stick and double jump over here and land on this guy and then walk around and just go up like this. And that way you don't have to like deal with running around on that or bouncing on that like tiny strip of the pool. All right, so now we finally made it to the third button. You want to just jump, ground pound, hit the button as usual. We know how to ground pound at this point. These cutscenes are long, and you can't do anything to skip them. Not that we know of right now. My buddy Cyrus just pointed out a really obvious point that I can't believe I never thought of. That makes total sense. Now that I think about it, I haven't really seen anybody use. So earlier when we jumped on top of this pipe over here, and you saw me do that slide, you could also just use an infinite hover to get over across there, which is definitely way slower, but way safer as well. So definitely think about that. All right, so for this piece, basically we're gonna want to get back down here. Let's see. The safest way to do this is to run like over here and just kind of like jump down like that, which is like pretty safe. You can like see it pretty well with the camera. What I do is I run right off the ledge, like right here before the corner, and I do a run jump like this. And then if for example, if you're like about to fly over the platform, just ground pound in order to save it. You can do a quick button press. Let's see if I can get one here. It's not super important, but if you jump, if you run jump and then ground pound, you can basically, when he run jumps, he's like just barely over top of the button, and so when you ground pound, it's like super fast. That was not one of them. We'll see if I get it on the next one. It's not super important to show off. You can see it in a lot of runs, but it only saves like a fraction of a second. Also, I apologize for the lag in my emulator. It's probably because I'm running the emulator and OBS at the same time. Because it doesn't usually lag. I have a pretty decent gaming computer, but... Alright, so now we're going to come out of here. There's two strategies we can do here as well. So the first one is a little bit safer. So you'll have to wait for the water cycle and wait for the water to go away. And you can just hold forward and run jump and land right here. The other strategy, you don't have to wait for the water. You just run over, you jump over here, and then you can just like run down and then land right there, even without a jump. Both relatively easy. Even the slightly faster one is like barely harder. And then last button press. After the last button press, you can skip the cutscene, and then we don't save. We save time, not files. So that's all for taking on the chin. Moving on. Dad's Dream. This one's fun. Some people like it, some people hate it. Most annoying part about Dad's Dream, in my opinion, is the fact that there is a minute-long cutscene at the very beginning that we cannot skip, unfortunately. So I'm going to go refill my water bottle.
Guess what my dad dreams about? It's pretty weird, Timmy. But dreams tend to be weird. Wow, That's pretty weird.
Dad's dreaming about a giant robot? What does that mean?
It means he likes giant robots. I mean, who doesn't?
Let's concentrate on the job at hand, boys. Waking your dad up, Timmy.
And how do we do that?
We need to shock him awake. I suggest wrecking his dream.
Do you mean destroy that robot?
Sure, it's not real. He can dream it again if he wants.
Okay, let's whip up some wishes and break Dad free of that strange TV magic.
A suit? But there's no one in it.
So as soon as Wanda says, like, there's a suit, but there's no one in it, you can pause and skip the rest of this, like, tiny bit of the cutscene. So, skip scene. And then, we're in Dad's dream now. You know, because we're wearing cute little pajamas. Basically, right off the bat, we're going into some tricks here. So, you're going to run out. So, this is called suit skip. We have multiple suit skips. Basically, the suits play basically the role of like a door with a key, or that like you need a key for, but the key is like an item, because later we get a light bulb that can you can get a moth and then it'll eat the suit, but we can run past most of them. There's only one that we can't. So the way I do this is I line this up, and you're gonna want to aim for like around here, and run. You're gonna run straight at the wall, and then like hug the wall and keep running. So you want to go like this, and then jump down here. That can take some practice. I still mess that up in runs sometimes. If you run and jump just at the right angle there, you can get like the jump into the cutscene and not have to like run anymore. All right, so what would a lot of people would consider the hardest skip in the game right here. This is called Dad Skip. It's not hard like the other one. It's not hard like the cutscene skip because you have 1 or 2 frames. It's just hard because it's a lot of difficult movement. So the first thing is we're going to come over here, and we're going to double jump around, and we're just going to jump like up this. There is an invisible wall like right here that you can see me hitting. How I usually time this is I do 3 jumps. I double jump, and then I do 1, 2, 3, and then I jump over here. I messed it up that time though. Oh man, I messed it up again. Alright, so now I'm over here, right? You're going to want to run along this pipe. And I usually get to about right here. There's a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to try to show them off. It's really about whatever you're comfortable with. I wouldn't say one is easier than the other. So what I do is I line Timmy up so that he's pointed like basically between this white dot and this black dot. So like right here, roughly. And then I run jump, and then I mash A in order to jump on this platform here, this like slanted platform. You can also, if you come straight over to this edge, this is how I started doing it, but I find this like actually harder now. If you just double jump along the wall here, you can get that jump. Actually, that was pretty easy, but you can get that jump very easily. Let's see if I can just get back. Nah, save states. So yeah, either way, those are the best 2 ways to get over here. I like this way. It's a little bit faster. All right, so there's 2 different ways to do this part as well. There is the hard way, and there is the way with the setup that's still kind of hard but easier. I'm going to show the setup first. This is the way that I usually do it. I found this setup. Basically, we're trying to get Timmy into a very specific position where he is going to stand on the seam right there. So you'll see that Timmy is just barely standing on this seam. So now that I am standing on the seam, I can rotate my camera because this pink right here doesn't have collision, as we can see, because I'm poking through it. But I'm going to move my camera, and I'm going to line it up so that this seam right here is lined up basically like right with the edge of this, like where like the pattern changes right there. So I'm going to put that like basically like right there. You can kind of see it poking out. And then I'm going to run, hold forward, and run jump. So now, so that's the run jump. So now, as soon as you land, you're going to need to start hitting A. Oops. I almost hit quick game. So if you land down here, that's okay. That's safe. It's faster if you just stay on this piece, and then you can pop right back out and land back up here. And so now we're all the way over here, right? So now we can jump basically all the way over here and land in this next part. So I'm going to go back and show the other method of dad skip before I move on. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this, to be honest. I barely do this. This is the way we originally did the skip, but you can just you can jump around the seam. And this is how most runners do this, to my understanding. I don't know of very many people that use my setup. But you basically just bounce around this seam, yeah, like that, in order to get around there. I find that to be really inconsistent and really hard. And like, if you die, right? If you die, you're all the way back here. You got to redo the whole damn thing. So like, it takes a long time. I would eventually like to reintroduce this version of Dad Skip into my runs, just because it is faster. You don't have to worry about getting into the setup. So after you run jump over here, you're gonna skip through 3 cutscenes and then immediately die. So you're gonna run and jump, and basically when you run jump, so every time you flip the switch of that giant thing, there's 3 of them, there's a boat that starts changing more into like a boat, and it shows you like cutscenes of things changing in the world. If you die during that cutscene, it will like black out. The cutscene doesn't end, it still plays out, it's just a black screen, but as soon as you load back in, you're respawned. So it saves like a second or two from dying after the cutscene. Oh boy. Alright, so we're gonna run over here. You can just barely make that run up and then jump onto there. So getting up these stairs quickly, I usually run jump. And like, as soon as I jump, I let my hands off the inputs, and then I just readjust my angle with the camera. Or, I'm sorry, with the control stick. So this is like a reverse suit skip. This honestly sucks. I hate doing this because I always fail it. I fail this more times than I get it. Basically, you're just trying to not get the suit to catch you going the other way. I'm going to try it like 2 or 3 times. If I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. You can watch Kurovi do it in his world record run. But it's very difficult. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. It's not super important. Basically, instead, you just run by past him instead of him catching you. So then you're going to want to come over here, grab this yellow star, come back over here. So there's a purple star right there. If you run up to this corner and double jump over it, you'll just get it like that, and then you can run over here and grab that yellow one. Those are pretty quick. So now when you run over here, this purple one's gonna run away, but that's all right. Come over, grab the yellow one, and then you'll notice you have a light bulb now. And if you come over here, that moth, you'll see it flying around, is now on your light bulb. So then after that, you're gonna come over here. Oh, I missed it. But you're gonna grab the purple star. You're going to want to make sure you have decent stamina here. Walk up to the suit. It will get eaten. And then run around this corner to the left and catch the purple star. So now we have our next wish. We use this very little, but we use it in the boss fight. If we didn't need it, if we had a way to skip this door and we didn't have to use it on the boss fight, we'd skip it. And I wish we could skip the boss fight, but we can't right now. So you're basically just going to hit Y. And destroy that door. You can like run through it, like part of the way through it, falling apart, but it doesn't really save any time, because you only get like a second. Getting a lot of lag, unfortunately. Not sure why. But we're gonna come over here, dive into this cutscene. Oh, I missed. So this is one of the easier skips. Basically, we're just gonna jump off of this light post here. And jump up here, and it's pretty much that easy. Just try to jump against it. You can jump off multiple pieces of it. Like you can jump off of like the lantern part as well as the top. You need to jump off the top in order to get to the ledge, but jumping off the lantern will help you get to the top of the light. And then come over here, skip this cutscene, skip this cutscene, and then you can move for like a split second. So I usually dive. I apologize. I'm getting a lot of lag here. I'm running. Oh, there we go. Now I'm back up to 30 FPS. I was running at like 20 FPS there for a while. Oop. Careful with your run jumps. It's easy to hit that lantern, as you saw me just do. I think when you run jump against a wall, it boosts you a little bit farther if you get the right angle, but like it doesn't really matter. I do it save little bits of little seconds here and there. So routing in this next portion is kind of up to you. This is how I do it. I think this is the fastest way. So I come through here, I make sure my boost is fully charged, or my run, and then I run around here. I grab this guy. And then I'm gonna pull out my magnet, and then I'm gonna what we want to do is shoot this frog with the bolt gun thing, magnet, whatever, so that because the frog will eat our moth. And so we want to run up here. You can actually do an item cancel here like we do for the infinite hover, where if I hit Y and L at the same time, and then I go up to the light bulb, it will shoot a bolt, and then I'll also grab the moth. And then if I run over here, I can grab this. I just realized I forgot to show off a trick in this level. It's not super important. Basically, you can skip doing those two moves and skip the suit here. If you run jump to like right here, and then you get like frame perfect jumps over here, basically if you touch the ground for like a minimal amount of time, the suit can't grab you, and if you're against the wall, so you can jump around it. It's slightly easier to do it over here. So for example, if you miss it and he grabs you, it'll spit you out right here, and then you can do double jumps against this wall like this to get behind him, and then grab the star and then run past out. I don't really see anybody use it. It might be used, probably be used in ILs, but that's about it. So then we're gonna run over here and grab this star. I usually run kind of like at it, but it's like at my left, and then I dive because it goes to the right. Skip this cutscene. So now we have the most obnoxious item in the game. It's just an air horn, also known as action klaxon. Yeah, it's an air horn, and it's annoying and pretty obnoxious overall. But that's okay, because we don't have to use it that much. So you're gonna come out of here. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you have enough stamina right here, because we're gonna run past this suit. All you have to do to get past this suit is run against the wall. That's all you have to do. Just hold left, like up left right there, and you'll run against the wall. So now you're gonna want to make sure you run around this dude here to the left. If you walk too far around here to the right, you'll miss a respawn trigger, which is basically like where you'll respawn if you die. And there's a skip right up here. That if you miss it, you'll go all the way back over there if you don't hit it. So make sure you go around to the left. All right, so come over here. I'm gonna just save a state. All right, so basically we're gonna run jump over to that other platform. You can just line it up and go for it, but what I do is I purposely will fall off this ledge and get back up, and then turn my camera and make it so that they are like almost even. Like you'll see that this one is like a little bit farther to the left than this one is, and then I will hit X and then start holding forward to shift Timmy's direction, because basically like you pause for a second when you start running, right? But you can change the direction. So if you want to stay in that position but you want to change the direction, and you're gonna run, just run, hold up, and then jump. I almost got it there. That was really close, but I believe that was like a little later, a little early, not exactly sure. But I'm gonna go off this ledge here. It also, like, it helps if you're near the corner, because it'll help you like figure out your timing. But like the main thing with this trick is you got to figure out where to jump in the air, and it's basically all timing. You might be able to use some visual cues of like where he's falling, but I've never really messed around with that. But basically I just time it out. So like that. So you can practice that timing. All right, I'm gonna make another save state here. So after you jump Oh, I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna show off one more thing that I forgot to show off. So if you don't want to do that jump, you don't have to. Oh, apparently you get a slide in. Whoa, I didn't realize. I forgot this was a slide, and I didn't realize you could go up it. Oh man, can I not get back up there? That's super lame. Okay. Basically, I'll be able to show you without doing it, but it's very easy. Basically, you can jump. So we jumped from right there over to here. If that's too hard, just run around here and jump from right there to right there. It's basically completely free, and it wastes probably maybe 7 to 10 seconds, because then you got to come over here and jump up here, and then jump up here. But yeah, something to note as a easy strat. Sorry I couldn't show that off, and I didn't realize that you couldn't get back up there. I honestly have never needed to go back up. So, oh, actually I can show it off in a minute. Never mind. All right, so this part sucks, and I'm sorry for this, but there is sometimes a crash that you will get right here that you cannot control. We don't know why it happens. And basically, just if you use the klaxon on this specific launch pad, sometimes it crashes. Hopefully it doesn't. Alright, it did not crash. That would have sucked, because I would have had to redo the level. But yeah, if it crashes there, basically the screen goes blue and you get like a zzz audio noise. So like, and then you got it's like a hard lock. Like you have to reset the console. So from here, we can just jump right across this gap. And then we can jump up here. Use the klaxon to get up here. So this is another suit skip. There are like 2 different lineups that I know how to use for this. The one I recently found and really started using is this. I run along this wall here, and then I kind of do like a little S swerve in order to get away from him. Man, I just want to get no wish. But like that. So that's pretty easy. And basically, I start running left once I hit like this square. So the other way to do it is to run up to that exact square I just pointed at and start running and try to like kind of like curve back around like this. So like that. I find this to be a little bit harder because a lot of times you'll get like the screeching animation of him like turning around too fast like that, like that. But I'll try to show it off. Yeah, like that. Alright. So for this part, you're going to want to jump on this thing and then jump onto the statue, which has a ridiculously large hitbox for some reason. And then we're going to wait for this platform to come towards us. And once it gets pretty close, we're going to jump. And now, you can either wait for this platform to move forward, or you can, like, jump right over here. I'm going to save. And then you can do, like, this to get over here. But that's a pretty tight jump, so I usually just wait for the platform. And then you're going to want to use this klaxon. You can do one or two things. What I usually do is I actually messed it up. So the first thing you can do is you can go right over the wall and then just go like this to get up here. What I usually actually do in runs is I go like this. I use the joystick mid-air. Oh man, I keep messing this up. Ooh, whoa, that was silly. Never done that before. Actually, can I just like... Yep, alright, cool. That's what I wanted. Alright, so if you stand like towards the back, you can get onto this wall, and then you can jump up onto here and jump over here. There's an enemy over here that's kind of annoying, so I'm just gonna kill him. But basically now we're gonna run jump over to that platform over there, and again, this is just one you kind of got to learn to just time. If you really don't want to do this jump, I will show you another method, but I'm gonna save here. So basically, this jump like that, and then you're over here, and then you're into another one of these cutscenes, right? So if you really don't want to do this jump, just launch over here, come over here, and then you can jump off this light bulb onto this wall. And then you can get around the suit like this, and you can like use the wall, or you can just like run jump like that. So now we're gonna skip the progress of that, and the boat's done, so we can go and beat the final boss now. That's pretty much all of Dad's dream. I'm gonna show off that safety strat that I said I couldn't show in the beginning here. I died. Oops. Oh wow, that put me all the way back here. That's dumb. And then we're just gonna go like over here. So that safety strat earlier that I forgot to show, instead of doing this jump here, you can come around here, and this is basically free. Just run and jump. It's basically free, and then I die. I didn't check the angle before I did it. Oh man, for real? This is where you're gonna put me? So that can be pretty quick, but I still think the wall strat is slightly faster. I need to come over here so it'll reset my respawn point. So if I die again, I don't go all the way over there. I did not think I was gonna get that suit skip. That was pretty generous. But basically, come over here. Just angle it at the piece that's sticking out. Pretty free. Just gonna death abuse to get back up here. Alright, and now we just gotta make our way, back to the boat. And this is definitely the most boring part of the run up here. Basically, skip scene. You can choose Cosmo or Wanda. If you mash A, you pick Cosmo. But if you like mash right and A, you might get Wanda. So it's up to you. This is an auto scroller. So you need to hit start when you enter the level, and then you need to hit start again in order to start. And basically the whole purpose of this is you're collecting fuel for the boat, which happens to be light bulbs, I guess, because this is a weird dream. You don't need to collect all of them. If you miss one or two of them, that's okay. If you hit A, you shoot. You don't need to shoot. You can just glide through the whole thing. Neither shooting nor moving speeds up their forward movement. I timed it out. With like mashing A and moving like this at the same time through this entire section, and it's exactly the same as if you move the minimal amount. So like basically just an auto scroller. Some of the collisions kind of goofy in this level with like the other objects. Like here, I'm gonna try to slip through a knot on this pretzel. Boop, like you. Oh, I almost got it. But if you hold up left here, you'll like clip through stuff, and then like kind of get stuck. So important part is to hit no here instead of yes. If you hit yes, and you get stuck in here, you do not have to play the whole thing again. You just have to wait for the countdown, and then hit start and hit quit game. If you hit quit game, it will exit you out here, not like to the main menu like it normally does. I believe that is a bug, but it works perfectly, or it might have been on purpose. I don't know. After that, jump onto the boat. Helps if you switch to your magnet before jumping onto the boat. Okay, sorry, I was reading chat. Cyrus said that I believe he's talking about dad skip, but he says if you angle the camera like downward, it kind of helps you see better. All right, so this is the boss fight. This boss fight sucks. I hate it personally. It's it's one of my most inconsistent pieces of my run just because it's hard to get right. So for this first part, you're gonna skip. You're gonna need to have the magnet out, and you're gonna run this way. You're gonna wait on this button. All of that yellow stuff that you see coming out from his steps will hurt you if it touches you. It's basically like a shockwave, I guess. So you're gonna want to wait here until it doesn't, and you're gonna want to double jump onto that button. You're gonna want to jump like as he's getting close, because otherwise you're gonna take damage from that like radius, that AOE attack. You're gonna want to pause here, skip, run forward, and shoot him 3 times. You're gonna want to try to. You'll notice that you'll see like a laser shoot out, and I started. Basically, I'm collecting bolts from that bolt bucket there. So you're just gonna want to run through this next part as fast as you can, using run jumps when applicable, obviously. Come over here, start sucking up bolts from this dude to try to fill it up before he gets over here, and then skip it, and then come over here. This one takes 4. You can usually get 1 bolt from that guy as you're closing. These pillars falling is hard to time, but there is a sound or what's the word I'm looking for? An audio cue. And so here, I'm going to be quiet, and you'll be able to hear the tower falling, and you'll notice me jump right after. Oh, I was a little early on that one. Then you're going to run over here. You're going to try to pick up bolts. I don't know where the dude is. I almost missed that button press. If you're like late and you don't get all the shots in, or like you get hurt or something, or you die, you basically have to run another lap up to the next button. So after this one, I'm gonna refill my bolts first, and then come over here because he needs 5 shots for the last one. And then after that, you're gonna want to skip cutscene. So occasionally there's a glitch that happens. I've only had it happen a few times, but basically he will like get stuck like down where he's just like sitting on the ground, and basically after you can't hurt him anymore. And if he gets stuck like that, run up and hurt yourself on him, and he will get back up. So that's the end of Dad's dream. You're gonna hit no and hit your split button. Another thing I recommend for just speedrunning in general is buy a USB foot pedal. They make them for, I believe it's mainly for like the main market is for people who do sort of I'm looking for, but where they like in courtrooms or like type out all the words people are saying. Can't think of the name of it, but anyway. But USB foot pedal, you can get them on eBay for like $5 or $10, and basically I just mapped mine to the space bar, and then I mapped in live split space to split, and so I just hit the foot pedal if I need to split, so I don't need to take my hand off the controller. All right, so now that we have finished Dad's Dream and Take It on the Chin, we have opened up the second to last level. Get a clue. And by second to last level, I mean second to last level in any percent. There's 2 more levels that we do not do in any percent because we get to skip them. So we're gonna skip this cutscene, and we're gonna go in to get a clue.
Good day.
2 cutscenes to skip off the bat there. You can get a slide, like we talked about earlier, on the stairs here, but it's incredibly inconsistent, and I don't really know, and no one seems to know how to do it. It seems to be kind of RNG, just if you get it, you get it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. So you're gonna run over here. I find it fastest to run jump onto this table, and then run jump off the table, and then, oh, I missed it, but do a ground pound down here. You're gonna want to go left and go through this door. Skip the cutscene. I'm gonna kill this dude because he's annoying, and I want to show you guys stuff. So this box, if you push it twice, you can get this jump relatively easily. You can actually do it if you only push it once. It's a bit harder to get, but basically, if you if you hold against the wall and walk against the wall, Timmy is like building up momentum even though he's not moving. So you want to like face the wall and then immediately flip it around so that instead of like, because Timmy kind of has like a startup for his run where he like an acceleration, and so you build up that acceleration against the wall or by spinning, and then I find against the wall is easier. Flip it directly around, double jump, and you can make it to this corner here. I'm not doing a good example, but like that, and you make that jump while only pushing the box once. Again, mainly an IL strat, not something you'd really want to go for in runs. It's just not very, it doesn't work super well. You can get a really fun boost off of this plant. That wasn't very good, but it's not super useful. So there's a couple different routes here. What I like to do is jump over to this one, and then jump over here. Wow, I messed that up. The emulator lags a lot, and I'm not used to lag. I'm used to running on console, as I said, so I'm just gonna do that to make this a little easier. Alright, so I'm gonna run jump over here, and then I usually just go right over that gap. You can also go on that bookshelf. And now I'm gonna kill this dude. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can either jump across the bookshelves there, or you can actually just do this. And jump up here. It's harder to do it without the grab, but you can do it without the grab. And then I usually just like jump over here. This little like extrusion that you see sticking out of the clock can actually be jumped off of, so you don't need to jump over here and then up. You can actually do like this. I find it easier to mash. So then you're going to want to run around to the left here and grab this star and come over to this door. I want to come over here, hit this button, jump over here. You can run or not run, whatever you want to do here. So there's two different strats here. You can do like the obvious casual strat of just like jumping around the bookcase, or if you angle the camera back like this and do a run jump, you can run jump straight over here and then run jump over here. Double jumping is way safer. I recommend double jumping in the beginning, especially. If you get a well-timed jump here, you can jump right onto that pillar. Then you're going to want to hit this button and then jump down here. Don't get too close to the star or it will run away. But then we're going to run, grab the star. Careful of the knight, because he will hurt you. Those guys are annoying. Run over here. So the wish we just got allows us to invert the room. So now if we run into the middle of this room, hit Y. Run back towards the left corner here. And the door opens. Come right out here and flip again. And we're gonna run across this room and into the center of this pit thing. And then go off. I usually go off to the left. I think it's the left. Might be the right. Yep. Yeah. All right. And then, so you'll see the picture over there with that door. You want to go over to this other door over here. The cutscene of you walking up to that picture will play if you try to open this door, even if you don't walk up to it. If you walk up to the picture, it does the same cutscene. So you want to get on the left side here and flip it around. All right, so this is called Pit Skip. Supposed to get 2 more wishes. I honestly don't know what they are. Haven't played this level casually all the way through. Not since I was a child, at least, and it's been a really long time. So basically, we're going to run, jump over here, and we're basically just gonna mash Y and hope. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can just mash Y and hope you get it. I found a more consistent method here, where if when you jump here, you can kind of see Timmy like kind of like does a little like turnaround or like kind of like grabs into the corner there. So you want to like jump them into this corner and then start mashing Y. And if you do it right before Timmy dies, they will respawn. If you hold backwards when the room flips around, you will land on this invisible platform that's here. Don't know why this is here. It's not super big, so you want to be careful. But if you hold back when you do that, you'll just land on this. Aim at the door and run jump. And now you're over here. Also, you can like land like right here and like jump up there. So like don't be too worried. It's not that precise. Instead of holding back there, you can also just like hold upright and like kind of get towards the doorway. All right, so now you're gonna want to stand on the 4th one from the back and flip this, And now we're on another invisible platform. You just run and hold forward. And then to get through here. There's 2 different strats you can do in this room. You do a save state. If you run over to the middle over here, like the middle of this portion of the wall, and you flip, you will land on this dresser. If you land on the corner, or if you stand on the corner of this dresser and aim at the picture, you can jump through the picture at an angle like that. A slightly easier route is just to run straight back against the edge of the room. Like there's the painting we came through. So you're right against the back wall. Flip it. And land up here on top of this bookshelf. And then just do the same thing. Just jump through the picture. Skip the cutscene. Run through here. Alright, so right here there's a couple different ways to do this part. Basically there's a big block pushing puzzle. They want you to push this block through this whole thing and like flip the room around and all this crap, but that takes a million years. If you time this jump just right, if you run forward here and then hold right as soon as you drop down and then jump at just the right time, you will jump through this hole. So I did not do that correctly. I'm going to try it like a few times, and if I don't get it, it's not a big deal. It lags really bad on emulator, so it's really hard to do. But basically, I'm trying to get through that hole that you saw there. Another way to do it is just like stand on this arrow and like hit Y and hold up. And you will grab that ledge. If you stand on that arrow and just make sure you're like flat against the wall, and then hold Y, hit Y, hold up, and you can just climb right over it. It's a great backup strat. Always go for that jump. It's free to go for it once, and then you can do the backup strat if you miss it. Now we're into the boss fight. You can skip the first part of the cutscene, but not the second part.
It's hard to afford treasure when you're not royal.
Oh, how sad. Not being filthy rich anymore. Please.
Don't be too scared. It's just people in a costume. It's not a real
Rich
ghost.
people are great, and this treasure room is really impressive. Please don't haunt me.
Cosmo doesn't know.
More to this ghost than meets the eye.
All right, this boss fight can suck, but it's usually not that bad. So basically, the boss is gonna like fly at you and like shoot lightning at you once they get close enough. There's 4 boxes placed around the room. You want to make it so that they are positioned directly over top of the box. After they use 3 lightning strikes, you can flip the room. If you flip the room and they are right on top of the box, when the room flips, the box will fall on them and they will take damage. You have to do this 4 times. So the first time, they're going to come from this angle. The camera does not behave very well with this first one for me. So I need to get them a little bit closer. Oh man, I died. Alright, so now where are they? Alright, they're on the ceiling now. So I'm going to flip it. Oh, they just happen to be right in the right spot. Yep, I had to put them in the right spot. And then I flipped the room. So dying is not a big disadvantage here. So then you're going to run over. You're going to want to position them. Their shadow is the best indicator. You can't see it if it's on the box, but you can see it if it's on the floor. So you can tell if you're off. Pretty sure this is it. Alright, yep, and that's going to hit them. And then you're going to run over back this way. Flip the camera around. If you walk away, they'll walk closer to you. If you walk towards them, they'll walk backwards. You can use that to kind of position them. And you want to make sure, again, they're right over top of the box. The box will drag them down. Try to show off a little swag strat after this kill. You can clip inside of the boss after they die. Also, you'll see right now they're not like 100% on the box, but I'm pretty sure this will still work. Oh no, I messed that up. Oh well, it should still work. Yep. Alright, and then now if you basically if you do a ground pound on them at like the right angle, you can clip right inside their body at the last second. Fun little swag strat. Alright, skip. And then hit no. And then we are in we're about to go into the shortest split of the run. It is the final boss fight. It is pretty easy. I'm gonna skip this one. So these last 2 levels are skippable because of some bad game design. It's not bad game design, but I'm surprised they didn't think about it. In most of these places where the gates are, there's like, you can't jump on these ledges, right? But you know what you can jump on is this stuff. And so if you jump into this corner here, hold right, and then double jump out of it, you can jump on top of this wall here. I would have had it if I had been mashing. I find it good, like, helpful to mash A after the second double jump. Because a lot of times you'll like start sliding off, but you can catch the double jump. Helpful thing is you can run jump. Oop, I messed that up. You can run jump into this corner, which makes it a little bit faster. I'm not doing this very well. One thing that's helpful here is if you hold left and then immediately flip right, you do that momentum storage that I was talking about earlier on the box, where you can like get to full speed and then hit right. And that is like the biggest thing to help get over this wall. Similar with the bridge in Fairy World, collision is still there. Hit A, and we're in the final boss fight now. This is the last stretch. Quick thing, Twitch chat, if you have anything, I think it's probably just Cyrus, but if you have anything you want to add to the video, it's going to be over in a minute, so go ahead and throw that in chat and I'll add it. So you're going to hit A here, you're going to skip this cutscene. Alright, so immediately it's going to go dark. Basically how this works is this dude, I can't remember his name, whatever, Wizard Man, he looks like Probabilitor from Adventure Time, but that's beside, or from Gravity Falls, but that's beside the point. Basically, the lights black out, he turns and faces a button, and then spawns 3 like shadow creatures in to fight you. You need to hit the button he is pointed at or like facing. If you stand in the right spots, you can basically manipulate the RNG so that it's the same every single time, and it's like pretty generous. I'm gonna put a save state here, and I'm gonna try to show this off. So when you first spawn in, he's gonna turn to the button to the left behind you. You want to wait for him to turn, and then come and jump on this, and then walk up and hit his toe. Now you'll see these rings that he's standing in. You're gonna want to stand just on the outside of this ring right here, of the outer ring, and you're gonna want to stand to the right of this button, like about where I'm standing. He's gonna hit his cane on the ground, and you're gonna want to immediately ground pound, because hitting basically when he hits his cane on the ground, it shoots you back, so it, like you don't have enough time to run up. But if you ground pound it, it will cancel that animation. So then, as soon as he moves, run over and hit the button. Run up. He has a weird hitbox. Oh wow, I missed it. I'm gonna just redo it so I can show you guys the RNG. So you want to wait for him to move before you run over there, or he will move to a different button. Stand to the right of the button. Wait for him to move, then run, and then hit his foot again stand to the right of the button outside of the circle. Hit B, wait for him to turn, hit the button, hit his foot, stand to the right of the button, same thing as last time, ground pound, hit the button, and as soon as you get that last final hit, that's the end. That's your end split. That is the end of the game. So that's it. That is the entire Fairly OddParents Shadow Showdown Any percent tutorial. That is all of the current strats that I know of, that I use or have used or have seen other people use. It's pretty much everything. For ILs for those levels, and for the stuff that I have managed to find or know about, and for definitely for any percent. If you have any questions, definitely get on the Discord. There are a ton of us on the Discord, and by a ton of us I mean a handful of us on the Discord that talk about this game, that run this game and post when we're running this game live on Twitch. And if you have any questions or you're having trouble getting a glitch or something, jump in the Discord and come talk to us. You can find the Discord on the speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/Fairly OddParents Shadow Showdown, with underscores instead of spaces. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the tutorial. I hope you decide to run the game, or that you have decided to run the game. And you should definitely come drop by the Discord if you decide you're going to run this game, and just let us know, like, hey, I'm going to run this game, and we can help you or talk to you or whatever. So I'm also going to be done streaming for tonight. This was really all I came online to do. So I guess have a good night, take it easy, and again, if you need anything with the game, stop by the Discord. Thanks again.